Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating, what is this back injury? Is the back injury? Everybody's questioning it now. And this will be a third straight season where Angel Reese did not finish playing in game. I think Whitlock is onto something. I see other people talking about this. People talking about it all on Twitter.
3 straight seasons. 3 straight disappearing acts. Angel Reese has officially mastered the art of vanishing when her team needs her most, and the Chicago Sky might actually be thanking her for it. What started as mysterious day-to-day injury reports has turned into the most predictable pattern in professional basketball, and fans are finally seeing through the smokescreen. The question isn't whether she's really hurt anymore. It's whether she's given up entirely on being the franchise player everyone thought she could become.
Vandersloot, their point guard early in the year.
Yeah, that was a big loss. Them losing Courtney Vandersloot was a big loss. They got Rachel Banham playing point guard, Kia Nurse, ill. What is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you have to have some level of self.
The back injury that kept Reese sidelined for the final stretch of the 2024 season reads like something out of a medical mystery novel. No clear diagnosis, no specific moment of injury, no timetable for return. Just the same recycled day-to-day status that coaches kept repeating like a broken record. Compare this to every other major sports injury where fans can point to the exact play, the grimace of pain, the immediate medical attention. With Reese's back problems, there's nothing but convenient timing and vague explanations that raise more questions than answers.
For being honest, maybe more reason why she's out right now might be secretly shopping her. They're not secretly shopping her. You don't fake back injuries. You don't fake back injuries. Run it from the grind, man.
Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year.
But the back wasn't even her first vanishing act of 2024. The season-ending wrist injury that cut short her rookie campaign came with its own set of suspicious circumstances. After dominating the LA Sparks with 24 points and 12 rebounds, Reese suddenly needed immediate surgery to prevent future arthritis concerns. The medical team's recommendations seemed to come out of nowhere, especially considering she'd been playing through various minor injuries all season long. The timing couldn't have been more perfect for someone looking to end their season on a high note, rather than risk tarnishing those rookie numbers during a potential playoff push.
Like, she is asking for a trade. Or she's at least implying she wants to be traded. Because at the end of the day, you just never know.
Everybody was on you shooting 28% on layups. Everybody's tearing you up on the internet. The all-star votes come out and you saw Kiki Area Finn and all these other people in front of you and realized, oh, damn, it looked like I'm not going to make it. And then you turned up.
Here's where the story gets really interesting, though. Somehow, this debilitating back injury that kept her out of crucial regular season games miraculously cleared up just in time for All-Star Weekend festivities. She was all smiles during photo ops, standing for hours during media sessions, and showing zero signs of the pain that supposedly made it impossible to compete in actual games. Yet, when it came time to face Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in those marquee matchups that fans had circled on their calendars, suddenly the back would flare up again. The pattern became so obvious that even casual observers started questioning the legitimacy of her absence from these high-profile contests.
You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. Like, we've seen different tactics being used. Is Angel Reese trying to get traded, bro? Are you trying to get traded, Angel?
What makes Reese's situation even more damaging is how dramatically the Chicago Sky's performance improved without her on the court. The ball movement became crisp and purposeful instead of getting stuck in predictable post-ups. Role players started making cuts to the basket, knowing they'd actually get the pass. The offense developed a flow and rhythm that had been missing when everything ran through one player's ego-driven possessions. Multiple analysts noted that the Sky looked like a completely different team when Reese wasn't demanding touches in the paint, and the statistics backed up what everyone's eyes were telling them.
She just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened? This is bad. Reese didn't even show up to the Indiana Fever game in Indiana. She's not even showing up to the away games anymore. She's not showing up at all. She's just not showing up.
The All-Star Weekend contradiction perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with how Reese has handled her various injury situations. She can travel across the country, participate in media obligations, pose for countless photos, and handle all the marketing requirements that come with being an all-star selection. But somehow, the physical demands of playing basketball against elite competition become too much for her injured back to handle. It's almost like the injury exists only when there's actual basketball to be played, not when there's brand building and endorsement opportunities on the table.
It looks like Angel Reese wants out, y'all. Angel Reese seems to be looking for a way out of the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Sky. And I gotta be honest with you.
Remember that brutal stretch before All-Star voting where she was shooting an embarrassing 28% on layups? These aren't contested three-pointers or difficult fadeaway jumpers. We're talking about the shots that every professional basketball player should make in their sleep. The internet had a field day roasting her for missing shots that high school players convert routinely. Then, mysteriously, right around the time All-Star voting results started looking grim for her chances, her shooting percentage suddenly improved. Fear of public embarrassment apparently works better than any shooting coach when it comes to fixing fundamental basketball problems.
Remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Playing games. Angel, where you at? Where you at, Angel? This is nuts.
The contrast with how Caitlin Clark handles actual injuries couldn't be more stark. When Clark dealt with her documented groin issue, fans could see exactly when it happened during game action. She traveled with the team despite being hurt, stayed engaged from the bench during games she couldn't play, and maintained her leadership presence even while dealing with legitimate physical limitations. Most importantly, she was still producing at an elite level even while playing through discomfort, averaging over 16 points and nearly 9 assists during her injury struggles. That's what actual toughness and commitment to your team looks like.
There's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day.
Facts. Hey, Whitlock, take this pot. Keep cooking, stir the pot.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break.
Some people have started comparing Reese's approach to Kawhi Leonard's infamous load management strategy, but that comparison is insulting to Leonard. At least Kawhi has documented medical history and legitimate concerns about his long-term health. Leonard also has a track record of performing in the biggest moments when his team needs him most. Reese's pattern looks more like strategic absence management, disappearing whenever the spotlight gets too bright or the competition gets too intense. It's load management without the medical justification or the championship-level production to back it up.
So the Chicago Sky are an absolute, disaster right now. They're an absolute disaster. They are
nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season.
Woo!
I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard. I think she's used.
Ooh.
The trade rumors swirling around Reese aren't surprising when you consider how this whole situation looks from the outside. Some insiders believe she's pulling a classic forcing your way out strategy, sitting out games to pressure the front office into moving her to a different situation. The timing of her various ailments certainly supports this theory. They always seem to coincide with team struggles or personal setbacks that might damage her individual statistics. If the Chicago Sky are smart, they'll use her current value to get maximum return before other teams start noticing the same patterns that fans have already picked up on.
You have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realize,
a lot of people are making the point that it sounds like she wants out of Chicago, and look, I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame her for wanting out of Chicago.
What's most damaging to Reese's reputation isn't any single incident, but the cumulative effect of 3 straight seasons where she's failed to finish what she started. First, it was the wrist situation that ended her college career prematurely. Then, the mysterious back problems that derailed her rookie season just when the team needed veteran leadership most. Now, there are whispers about more injury concerns as she faces potential suspension for accumulated technical fouls. At some point, the bad luck with injuries narrative stops being believable and starts looking like a convenient excuse for someone who struggles with adversity.
The Sky have no future. The Sky messed up bad. They messed up bad this summer. Like, they don't have a future.
The most telling aspect of this entire situation might be how predictable it's become. Fans can practically set their watches by when the next mysterious ailment will surface, usually right after a losing streak, a poor individual performance, or increased media scrutiny. She's developed what you might call the ghost gene, the opposite of a clutch gene, where instead of rising to the occasion during pressure moments, she simply vanishes into thin air. For someone who was supposed to be the face of the Chicago Sky franchise, that's the kind of reputation that can define an entire career. The question now isn't whether she'll disappear again next season, but what creative injury excuse will be used to explain her next convenient absence when the games start mattering most.